The news.
I had the worst idea the other day.
Oh no.
Okay.
We're starting strong. I had the worst idea.
We're starting strong. So, I don't know if you saw that Cub stole one of the towers from Decked Out.
Yes.
And somebody in my chat on stream the other day was like, Joe, when are you all going to have an intervention for Cub and his stealing? and I said, we're not going to have an intervention for Cub. And they're like, but what would it take? And I thought about it for a minute, and I was like, you know, I bet if he stole Grian's Rift and sent one of Asuma's admins a list of the people on the Pirates SMP to whitelist after Asuma went to sleep, the person would probably just whitelist them all. He could open the Rift, have the Pirates people join the server before anybody knew it was happening, and at that point there would probably be an intervention. But up until that, and then as I'm saying that, I'm like, you know, I really miss Ollie. You know what? If Cub did this, I would back his play later. This is exactly where they should have been going the whole time. And so yeah, so that's all over Tumblr now because like people could see the gears turning in my
stop.
Yeah, no,
you don't know when to stop.
Well, that's the thing though, is I'm looking at it and I'm like, you know, I don't have the narrative backing to pull this off. The way Cub has like set up this escalating theft thing. But I'm like, I could just send that list to Asuma's admin. Like, I've seen people send him stuff, and he just does it without necessarily checking with everybody first, because he assumes, oh, if a hermit's sending me something, it's because they all talked about it at the meeting.
Yes, that is a thing that is true. That is a thing that people believe.
That it's basically like the Ron Burgundy teleprompter problem. And so I was just like, it's a good thing that I had this idea in a way that I have no plausible deniability about it. I mean, granted, they could screenshot the conversation. I'd be thrown under the bus immediately, but, like...
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
like,
you would.
But, like, people having, like, 5 minutes of a VOD of me cackling about this is just, like... Oh, like, there's not going to be any, like...
I'm not saying it couldn't happen. What I am saying is we would immediately know it was you.
Well, not only would you immediately know it was me, but there'd be no, like, well, you know, guys, I thought... Everybody keeps saying we need to be bolder, and so I put a lot of thought into this, and I decided this is how we're going to try and be bolder today.
Like, here's the problem, Joe.
But it's just me cackling.
The entire server knows that your bolder is probably a mistake. You are the only person on the server that is not allowed to be bold.
I know, and it's... frustrating
for our
sometimes.
Safety, not yours.
Yeah, no, I know it's for your safety, and I get it. I've seen the Family of Blood episode of Doctor Who, but like, fine.
You don't get to be bold, Joe. You just have to accept boldness on the behalf of others.
I know.
You just have to be, I'm afraid.
But yeah.
But now I kind of want to watch, like, the world burn.
Oh my gosh, it would be amazing. Like, okay, but yeah, because, like, really, you know, people assume the hermits always have plans for stuff, and we often don't. And just, like, just doing the next logical thing when the next logical thing is this stupid is just so amusing to me.
The next logical thing, like, here's the problem, Joe. What you think is the next logical thing and what every other hermit thinks is the next logical thing are miles apart.
I can't imagine a better next step for Cub fans' kleptocracy than just
kleptocracy.
Just stealing the Rift and running with it.
Like, I haven't been on the server for a bit, so I actually genuinely don't know what he's done after me and Jev stole the eggs.
Gotcha. Well, there's
a non-zero chance he's retaliated.
Well, the perimeter is gone, and then the perimeter being gone is somehow gone. Doc hinted at this on Twitter the other day, or like today.
What?
I flew over there, and the perimeter being gone is gone. So I'm wondering if Cub stole the perimeter hat. But we made a hat for the perimeter. It covered the entire perimeter, and it's gone now.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
It's a very natural hat. I thought it was quite complimentary.
Also, choo-choo! Thank you.
Oh no, where's my train whistle? We need to celebrate.
Oh, here we go.
Oh my gosh.
Gotta celebrate those wins, Joe. Hey. Thank you, Atast, who has resubscribed for 27 months. Thank goodness. That is a lot of months. It's many months. Magnum Indy has cheered Cleo bits and said, good morning, Cleo and Joe. Good morning. Humphrey Witherbottom has resubscribed for 6 months.
6 months.
Yes, Joe is chaotic. We've established this. If anyone else would like to, I was going to say like, favorite, subscribed. It's been many years since those were the fact. Donate, tip, and subscribe. In my case, I did have to take several days off, and it has had an effect. So, I appreciate anything that you can do for me. Rate this 5 stars. Yes, give me 5 out of 5, and that'd be fun.
Yep.
That'd be fun.
And if you enjoy tipping in multiple places, tips are also welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube.
This is true. This is true.
But Cleo just had a pretty big purchase too. Do you want to talk about? Sometimes when you buy something big like a washing machine, you gotta like go to a few different stores. But you bought something bigger than a washing machine. I understand it.
I mean, okay. I'm gonna say it's not bought yet.
Okay.
I'm in the process of buying, which is different.
Yeah,
yes,
like you put the money on the counter, and the shopkeep heard the phone ringing back and said, "Hold on."
Did I buy a horse? Yes, I brought a horse. No, I haven't bought a horse. I am in the process of purchasing a house.
What?
And I have said to the person, if I pay this much, will you give me your house? And they have said, yes, if you give me this much, I will give you my house. And from there, we've gone to solicitors going, hang on a minute. And then we've had to hang on a minute. So, yeah, I'm in the hang on a minute stage. Let's figure out exactly what this means and make sure you get your money together. My money is already together-ish. I make sure your mortgage goes through and make sure, like, it's been a whole thing.
Well, didn't you already have like a letter of intent from your mortgage provider or something?
Yes.
Saying that they would guarantee up to a certain amount? Is this less than
That's
an
an
amount?
agreement in principle. So in principle, I have an agreement. The issue is they say, based on what you sent me so far, you can have this much. That's not necessarily like 100% certain that I will get that much.
Well, so one thing that I've seen is that banks in the United States will send their own assessor out to the house because they want to be able to reclaim the house if you don't pay the mortgage, right?
Yes.
And so they want to make sure, if you're paying $1 million for this house, it needs to actually be $1 million house. So some of my friends bought a house that has a recording studio in the basement. And the person who was selling the house wanted to sell the house for more because it had a recording studio in the basement. And the bank went in and said, basements don't count toward property value, whether they're finished or not in this state. And the guy who owns the house is just like, this is a full recording studio. I've posted some pictures and videos like we filmed and stuff in there. It's big enough you could have an 8-person band. It's got like isolation booths for your drummer. It's like crazy nice. But the bank was just like straight up like, this house cannot that cannot be priced into the valuation. We will not give these people a loan for that amount of money. And the person's like, well, so what do I do? And the bank's like, I don't know, find somebody who's willing to buy it in cash, because every bank is going to tell you we're not counting that toward the valuation. So good luck finding a cash buyer for your house. And so the guy waited for a little while to see if anybody wanted to buy a house for like 1.2 million or something stupid in cash. And they didn't. And so he had to knock a ton off the valuation because a lot of the price was based on the fact that it had this record studio in the basement. So, yeah.
That's a nightmare. No.
Yeah.
Thank you. I need to do thank yous. Survival Graph has subscribed. Welcome to the Horde. If you look to your left and to your right, you'll see there are no exits. Maths Jackal has resubscribed for 17 months. Jan has resubscribed for 5 months. Has Hype Train choo choo. And Sudo has cheered Cleo Biddies and says, woo, for the house buying process. Gosh. Mantua Maker has resubscribed for 13 months and says, hope you get the best outcome. So do I. I do not want to be in that situation that Joe just described, or my house being rejected, because I've started to think about, I mean, I've shown Joe what the house looks like.
Honestly, Cleo, a house like that in Nashville would be $950,000. Or
that's why I'm not buying a house in Nashville. And it's also, if it was in my area where I currently live, it would probably be in the 300 grand range.
Yeah.
But I'm not buying there, so it's fine.
No, the price that you got, obviously we don't go into specifics, but the price that you got was reflective of that area being a cheaper area. And
yes,
it seems to me like it's a lot of house for that price.
It also has some of the windows have a little bit of a roof that's leaking, and that needs sorting out. So that was also buried into the price.
Yeah, gotcha. Sometimes banks don't want to take on a house because they're like, oh, if you default on the loan before you fix this, then we're on the hook to fix this.
Yeah. I mean, I like it's like I've got the money. I say I've got the money.
Yeah.
Once my taxes are sorted and rebate checks come in, I have the money to do this.
When do rebate checks come in around in the UK?
It depends on when you filed your taxes, or in my case, when my accountants filed my taxes. So I should get it 6 weeks from the date they filed. I know they filed because HMRC have told me that they filed, and I'm just waiting on the 6 weeks from. However, if I buy a house within 6 weeks, that will be a miracle, because it takes a long time to buy a house.
Yeah.
But I'm doing it. I'm doing the thing.
Yeah, Cleo, doing the thing. Buying all the houses. Well, just the one. But it looks like a great house. It looks like you could have a really good studio, possibly a double studio space, if Cam or somebody else ended up like.
Yes, there is enough room there to do 2 studios. In one of, like, because I've got the upstairs, as you have seen, is a very large room, which will be the bedroom, and then downstairs there's 2 rooms, one on either side of the corridor, and those will be my studio, and if Cam comes over, his studio.
And you could also have it set up as a guest studio space too. So like if like False was visiting for the weekend or whatever, you set up a desk or whatever with an Ethernet port or whatever.
Yes, I could definitely do that in the meantime.
Because that's one of the things I've been trying to figure out is like basically if I could get a setup where there's a space that, Badger could set up, or other people, depending on like, who's passing through town or whatever. I don't know how many hermits wander in and out of Scotland very often, but it could be fun.
Probably not many.
Yeah, I don't
know.
It
would be funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I put an offer in on another house, which I didn't get before I did this one. And that house was much, much smaller.
Oh yeah?
Much smaller.
Was it more expensive for some other reason?
It was more cleanly finished and more professionally done. So it was like literally I wouldn't have to do anything if I walked in. This one is an ex rental, so it's not walk-in ready. It's just okay.
Yeah.
Be the change you want to see for the hermits.
I was gonna say I don't think my parents have ever really moved into a house that was like, they've never had a situation. Like, sometimes I hear from other parents in, like, Corinne's school or daycare or whatever, like, oh, yeah, we bought this house. They're going to be doing about 3 months worth of work on it, and then we'll move in. Like, for my parents, it was always like, okay, we bought a new house, and in order to do that, we had to sell the old house. We're going. Like, everything else would be happy surprises along the way.
Yeah, that's sort of where I am with this. I'm moving in. I'm doing, like, all the, the fixings the way I want them to be done. And then I'm never moving again in my life.
so happy for you. I would love to have that for
The
me.
phrase you're looking for there is jealous, Joe.
I'm
I can
trying
hear it.
not.
It's
I'm trying,
fine.
but like it's
I
like.
get it. I
But
would
no,
do the
I.
same if I were you.
Yeah, no, I'm jealous because like that is the dream, like just to be done.
That is the dream.
That
Just
is,
to be
but
done.
I am legitimately happy for you, and I felt like jealous might be
know,
too much of a
I know.
negative word, but you're not wrong. I'm definitely feeling
I
like,
know,
oh,
I know. Yeah,
I
I
want to
don't
get
think
there.
it's like jealous, maybe envious, because like I want that, as opposed to I don't want you to have that, which is different.
I want everyone to have that.
So do I.
Is the
I want everyone to have that too.
yeah, like a lot of times when I get annoyed at
Yes, Blaze. Except there's
what do you call it? Inequality. It's not like it's
Yeah.
not fair that that person has this and I don't. I'm more like it's
Yeah.
not fair that that person has this and everyone doesn't. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's
Exactly. I know
it's
exactly
a
what you're talking about.
broader thing, yeah. But
Yeah. It's like I'm glad you have that. Everybody should have that.
yes.
And can I say I couldn't do it without you guys, honestly. Honestly, like you guys are the reason why this is fine. Buying a fixer-upper. I mean, it's not really a fixer-upper. It's got like one thing that really needs fixing, and the rest is like, oh my god, that's so good, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm just kind of like I'm very aware that that one thing does need fixing. Like I've got like, and in the future it's got room to grow because it's got like a massive garden.
Mm-hmm.
Healthy jealousy, like I say, envy rather than jealousy, maybe, but even that's a bit much.
Yeah, I feel like envy is almost too strong a word too. I don't know.
I also think it's probably too strong a word because yeah.
Nope, Queen says, imagine being able to change your living situation to fit you instead of changing you to fit your situation. Yeah, that's all I do.
Yeah. Well, until this point, it's been all I do as well, so...
And Eklog writes that envy is literally a sin, whereas jealousy isn't. Yeah, so I guess if you're ranking them, that's...
I mean, honestly, I don't think either is particularly sinful because I don't believe in sins, but, you know...
Yeah. But, like, in terms of, like, something that's listed as a sin, like, being unhappy is not considered a sin, but despair is considered a sin. You know what I mean? Like, I could see why culturally the word might have a different connotation.
Yeah, I get that. I get that, but...
Okay.
I would also like other people to be as happy with their housing situation as I am going to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just... Because, my landlord just called last week. The rent's going up. So,
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I've just had that experience as well, so I understand.
I was able to talk him down to it's only going up $600 a year, but that's still
Jesus Christ.
That's what like in previous places I've lived in Nashville, it's gone up like 150 to 300 or a month.
A month.
So getting him down to 50 a month, 600 a year, that's that. But like basically,
well, I told you mine. I told you mine went up like 400 a month.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, so I get it. I do get it.
Yeah.
And I don't. I'm sorry that you don't have the opportunity from that I do, which is to just go, bye.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get there one day, but I'm actively backsliding away from it at the moment. So I'm gonna probably switch gears this spring and try and do something different.
Yeah. Nikki has gifted 2 packs to the community. Thank you. And McLesley has purchased Streamroots packs. Very much appreciated. Just pointing out, Streamroots cards, 90% cut. Thank you very much. Pseudo cheered biddies. I think I already did that one. And Mantua Maker has resubscribed for 30 months saying, hope you get the best outcome. May have already done that one as well. But thank you regardless, because you guys are awesome.
Woo.
So glad I don't rent anymore and have a set mortgage rate. Honestly. That is one of, like, knowing what I'm going to be paying in 5 years is huge.
Oh, absolutely. Also, thank you. I just got my first tip here from Kindleus, who says, for the Halloween build contest, how important is the distance from spawn rule? Asking before I get my friends disqualified. I said to build more than 3,000 out from 0-0. So, I mean, if they're, like, on the hypotenuse out 3,000, I'm not going to go after them for being at 2,900. But, I don't know. Like, the point is to build far away. I don't know. Uh,
The point is, go away!
yeah. I want people wandering around the server to find haunted houses everywhere. I don't want them all clustered at spawn. That's the point of the rule. Uh, if you're flying around, you should sometimes stumble across an abandoned-looking building with a graveyard out back. That's the vibe we're going for. So, yeah. That's going to rotate the camera 21 degrees, though. So here we go. Rotate Joe. Do-do-do-do.
I think we're going to do these kinds of eyes instead.
Just checking on the intent. Fair enough. Okay.
£400 increase per month. That's wild. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Cyclic Legume has resubscribed for 18 months. Trying to find a rental house right now, and it's hell. Currently living in my car, bumming it up on couches until something good comes up. I genuinely, and I say this with the I appreciate you. You do not need to be subscribing to me right now, and I appreciate you. I get it, and I'm aware money might not be the issue. It might be just the housing market.
Yeah.
But take care of yourself first, and I appreciate that you did that. But please, make sure you're okay.
Yeah. Well, because there's definitely different kind of thresholds where it's like an extra $5 a month doesn't determine whether or not I can make rent. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
And so, like, if somebody's like, I have, like, I would need $1,000 extra a month for any of the dollars less than that to not be worthless beyond a certain point. Like, you know.
Hey, Al.
It's
I get it.
frustrating.
Hello,
sometimes.
Al. How you doing? We're doing sushi. Sushi. For my September bullet journal. And now I'm going to get the knife.
What? Anon says, sometimes I find the expenses in my month are lower than planned, and this is one of those months. I understand if you want to spare your scroll wheel on this, and then tips 360. So for big ones like this, I hold down the up button while scrolling the scroll wheel. It makes the rotation faster. Unfortunately, the camera isn't showing me right now because I had it pointed at the other chair. Let me slide it back over. Woo!
You do what you need to, Joe. That's
so thank
amazing.
you very much, Anon, for that.
What journal do you use? I got this one, which I don't think is English. It's called Feuille Papier, so I'm assuming it's French, and it says "Believe in Universe" on it, which is partly the reason why I bought it, because it's like "Believe in Universe." Yes, I believe in universe, but yeah.
Believe in universe.
I believe in universe.
Meanwhile, I'm over here. I'm what the French call les incompetents. So
Les incompetents. Knife.
Yeah. So rotating. Mahi says maybe we could stop having luxury apartments built that people can't afford and sit partially empty. So the thing is, for me, when my landlord was like, hey, these new apartment buildings are going up and they're charging way more or whatever, you know, and I'm like, yeah. And meanwhile, your maintenance guy said we were going to get a new HVAC last summer because this one wasn't, like, legal. You know, I could say, like, those other people, all those other new apartment buildings opening up, are actually going to be driving down the number of people who care to live in a place like this. Like, if you're not going to get your stuff together, you can't expect us, like, even, like, the high-end demand is going to go elsewhere, which is going to lighten the mid-range demand, or which then lightens the low-end demand. The expectations of the low end are going to keep moving up, and, like, maybe you guys should have not told me a year ago that this HVAC needed to be replaced, and then not replaced it, and then come in here and try to raise my rent. I don't know, just as a treat. I try not to be an obnoxious person, but I am.
Oh, Jesus.
And this is... like, you know, but anyway,
I know, Joe, I know.
Screaming externally. But okay, so we're gonna, let's see, okay, so now that we've hit a full spin, you know, I'm gonna talk like
oh, God, this is where that starts.
Cleo's just like, oh, I'm done with this, I don't got any time for that. Yeah, I want to move to Scotland where nobody talks like this ever.
That doesn't help, Joe, because I'm on the phone with you. Well, I'm not on the phone with you, but
yeah,
this will happen regardless.
yeah. And then Leslie McCord, thank you for tipping another 10, who says, thanks for all the laughs from your last Hermitcraft episode, Joe. It was so good. Well, thank you very much, Leslie.
Oh, is that where you covered the perimeter?
Okay, so I wanted to let Grian and Scar and Mumbo have the glory there. But do you remember the Biffa's Bowl prank from season 1? You might have heard it referenced. You weren't there yet.
I have heard it referenced, but I was not there.
So, in response to covering Biffa's Bowl with water, and Biffa being like, you guys had better never do this again, Hypno and I built a rainbow. This was the first Hermitcraft rainbow, actually. And it was a reflection of the covenant between us and Biffa to never cover his bowl with water. Again, very biblical. And so, basically, my play field, or the game I'm building, my deep field pinball machine, represents not just the visible light spectrum, but 5 bands of the electromagnetic spectrum, and it's 5 times as tall, basically, as that rainbow was. So, and Cub asked me to write a poem about the pinball machine, which I entitled Apologies in Advance. And I was basically like, here's what happened. You know, it's like a retelling of the Biffa prank. And then me basically being like, and now I've got something like pretty, like 5 times as rainbowic, if you will. And, you know, pranks are going to scale up too. But, I mean, I apologized in advance. Don't get pissed. Like, that sort of thing. So, yeah. But no, I did have some, like, time-lapse bits. But, like, for the most part, I didn't want to, like, I knew that the footage of the actual prank was going to be in Green's video, Mumbo's video, and Scar's video. And,
So you
like,
didn't.
I didn't.
So you didn't.
I didn't want to use the same exact clips as they use, because then that's like, you know, it was fun to be invited. And I'm sorry that you missed it, because we had like 10 hermits in a call, like for a few hours for a couple days in a row, like maybe 8 hours total. People were kind of dropping in and out as they went. You know, like I'd take a break for dinner
cool.
to get Corinne for
It's
school.
a shame that I was. It's a shame.
Yeah.
But you know.
But yeah, but no, it was really fun. Iskall popped in for about 2.5 hours each day, so we got to hang out with Iskall for the first time in a while.
Nice.
It was just really, really, you know, it was back to basics Hermitcraft pranking. This is we're getting back to the fundamentals, and it's just everybody palling around.
You know what, Doc? Everyone's involved.
Yeah, and
except me.
And
I'm innocent.
You were innocent.
That is the first time I've said that in a while.
Yeah, you were innocent. Cub was busy. I suspect he was busy stealing something while everybody else was looking the other way, but I haven't figured out what yet.
Yeah, probably.
But he was logged on like the entire time, but he was not in the call and he was not there. But he was up to something. So I'm curious to see what.
Well, I didn't see any of this in the Hermitcraft Discord.
Yeah, because we didn't want Doc to know.
No, which is why I didn't know anything about it. So when people started asking me about it, I was like, I have no idea what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Cleo has done no wrong ever, probably. Well, yeah, no, I can definitely say that. That's the thing I have definitely said. For a given value of, you know, true.
Mm-hmm.
Take it how you feel like. Tango was in the basement. Gem, hi. This is so cute. Thank you.
Woo. Hi, Gem.
I'm gonna make this bit pink. I'll make it pink, and this bit pink. So, hooray for Cleo's perpetual innocence.
Gem was also doing a fantastic job of helping guide the terraforming. Like,
oh, good.
Yeah, I got to use a lot of the tricks that I basically, when I was working on the decked out thing, I copied what False did and learned a lot about kind of natural terraforming that way. So I was using those tricks on my part of the perimeter. But meanwhile, Jem was over there helping the actual les incompetents, who would just like start making a big flat area, and then eventually Jem would be like, no, round, circles, like this. And then, like, make an outline, and then they'd fill it in. And then they'd be like, Jem, we're out of outline. It's going to look bad again. And Jem would be like, okay, I'll come make it nice.
Jem totally wasn't them. You taught Mumbo about circles. I like the idea that you talk about circles.
Yeah.
And toggle shift.
She also taught Mumbo to use toggle shift, which he knew about that, and he came into this and he's like, "No, I'm never going to use toggle shift." And then, like, by the end, he's like, "Oh, okay, yes, this
My
is
hand hurts like quite a lot.
yes, we're quite deep into this project. I had better learn."
I love that. That's how you make Mumbo sound. Mumbo doesn't sound like that.
I don't know. I'm not.
I don't know what Mumbo sounds like. I've never spoken to Mumbo before.
Yeah, it's just like I'm trying to like how would you describe Mumbo's voice though if you were describing it to somebody who had never heard it?
Basically English. Posh. He's not posh though. He's just southern.
Oh, hello. I'm Mumbo
Lost
Jumbo.
me.
I can't figure out how to make a circle. Gemini Tay, could you help me with this circle? Also, my thumb seems to be in a bit of a bind. Is there some sort of key bind I could make or adjust in some way in order to alleviate this pain? Is that close? Is that close to what you described?
Maybe? I don't know anymore, Joe.
Yeah! Cleo Fusion!
What?
It's like Cleo Confusion.
Oh. I mean, that's like everything. Perpetually confused.
Violet Cat writes, "Spot on, Mr. Ills."
I hate everything. About all the accents you honestly, that's not news. I do always say I hate everything about
I'm happy
your
to hear. I'm
accents.
happy to hear your mumbo jumbo accent, Cleo. I want to hear how you would give a little mumbo talk.
No. I don't have to.
Well, Gemini
To know
Tay,
that you're
just so
doing-
you know, we're in the open hangout room. If you want to come and do your best mumbo jumbo impersonation, it'll be better than Cleo's because she refuses. So, the second place trophy is waiting for you.
Hang on. Mumbo lives closer to me than either of you do.
Yeah,
So...
which is why you refusing to compete. Oh, you're refusing to compete because you're scared it'll show up with like a tire iron or some other car thing?
Yeah!
Okay, that's valid.
Did you see what he's done to the dock's perimeter? Your Cleo accent was your... Yeah, let's not talk about your Cleo accent. That's the thing that gave me trauma on rewatch.
Oh, not trauma. That's bad.
Yeah. Mumbo putting dirt all over Cleo's new house. No, not the new house.
Yeah.
Get a new house, Gem. I don't think I've told anyone apart from Joe.
Mm-hmm.
And Corrales. Me and Corrales had a chat yesterday.
Oh, that's fun.
Get a new house. Yeah, it was like Corrales was just sort of like, we should play games. We should play games together. And I'm just like, we should. And then he was just like, I'm really tired. We're not going to do it today. I'm like, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Was he knocking out his TCG games? I got 2 really good fun games with him.
Yeah.
On stream the other day. Yeah.
Yeah. I am concerned about content because of new house. Gem's Cleo impersonation was beautiful in its own way. I'm not sure I agree, but okay.
Oh, Mantigag points out that Tango is also innocent because he was working on Decked Out the whole time. That is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tango was working on Decked Out the whole time, and Rem was working on the Ace Boat course the whole time.
The what? Oh, the ice boat course.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's actually looking really cool. I saw part of his stream the other day.
I know,
Like-
Gem, I know. Yeah. I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward to the ice boat course. I'm also looking forward to other people doing things which I can then go, haha, content whilst I move. So I spoke course, decked out. I'm looking forward to Blood on the Clock Tower.
Yeah. Did you see Asuma is got a game going either Saturday or Sunday? He wants to record a mini game.
I do not have the capacity to do either of those times.
Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, because it sounds like exactly kind of what you're looking for.
Yeah. So it's okay. Was Ren there? No, Ren was not there. Ren was not allowed to be there. Are you gonna play the board game? No, I've made it in Hermitcraft. Well, I say I've made it. Me and Force made it. I just came up with the like, we should do this game, and then Force was going, I actually know what that game is. And then I went, okay, can you help? And Force was like, absolutely, I can help. So that was good. Which meant I didn't have to build everything. Currently cycling some of your own Hermitcraft into movies. So maybe that's... Ooh! Well, what I was thinking about doing is, whilst I was moving also, is... you know how Mumbo did a Hermitcraft without Mumbo, where he looked at season 1? I was actually thinking about going to the old Hermitcraft stuff. And then just reliving old memories. Maybe not season 5, because I have memories about season 5 that I was having issues. But that's something I think might be good for if I'm React content. I was thinking about doing a world, like, just have these things in my back pocket when I start moving. So, you know, there's content and I don't have to just panic. I'd also kind of like to like react to other things. I'm not sure.
Well, would you like for me, and I would not cross post this to my channel. This is not me being like, oh, let's do something that's going to have your views. But I was actually thinking that, like, when I saw my base from season 1 in Mumbo's thing, that, like, oh, it would have been cool to, like, basically back then I would just build something small, like one sculpture, while I was talking about a topic, and the topic would tie into the sculpture. And it'd be cool to walk around, and, like, some of the stuff I could be like, oh yeah, I remember this, and then some of it I'd be like, I have no idea why I would have built this, and we could, like, riff on, like, possible guesses, or, like, if you wanted a tour of my season 1 base, I could...
Honestly, I found like all the buildings in Mumbo's video. I looked at them and I just went, they're well built, but dear God, the block palette is depressing.
So you don't want to be depressed by the block palette for an hour. Got it.
No, at least in season 2 there was color. You know.
That's valid.
So yeah. If you want to talk about season 2, I don't really have a server to do that on.
Well, I have a server. I mean, I can host whatever, but I'm just saying, like, if you're looking for something where you don't necessarily have to take the lead, if you're just trying to, you know, pad it out just in case, you know.
Oh no. What I would do is I would go to like season 2 and then go, okay, behind the scenes, this is why the Nether Hub never got finished. Despite the fact that I built it and I was waiting for it to be finished by the person who was supposed to be finishing it. And then they said, no, I did a different thing. And I went, okay. So it never got finished.
Yeah.
Which is why I will never do a Nether Hub again. So, yeah. Boop the mic.
You boop the mic.
I booped the mic. But yeah. T-Sharp has gifted a sub to Gem. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's really nice of you.
Yay.
All the love for camps is like, oh, the creeper. The creeper scare got me a couple of times on pirates this week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't often get got by the jump scare, but it was just sort of like I had to tab out, and I was like, no, 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 I hate you. That was good. It was good times. It was good times. But yeah, I think like moving itself will only take a week. So if I have like a couple of videos to go, and then I can just schedule them on the move, and it won't be a problem. So yeah, and those are videos that I can do like on my own in the middle of the night, which is probably when those things happen. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, whatever works best for you. I'm just, if there's something I can do, I want to do it. I just don't know what's the most helpful to you.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'm good. It's just like I can put TCG matches on, but I think a lot of people aren't as interested in those at the moment.
Yeah. I have a feeling that once they get their cards in their hands in September or whenever they actually, because it looks like we're still on track for that date.
Yes, it does.
Which is very promising this far into the process that we're still on track for that date. But I think once they get the cards in their hands...
I'm so impressed that I'm like, you can all thank Pearl's turnaround for that. My goodness.
We were worried that the Australian signatures were going to hold us up. Not because of anything about Pearl being slow, but just shipping to and from Australia. But
yeah, but Pearl knocked it. Pearl got those cards and got them out the next day.
Yeah, well, and Pearl also
knocked it out the park.
Pearl got them 3 days quicker than they said that they were gonna. Like they arrived 3 days early, and Pearl just knocked them out and sent them back. So they're now being sent back instead of. Like the expectation was they would get there 3 days later, and then Pearl would spend 2 days on it, and instead,
speaking of which,
they got there 3 days early, and Pearl spent like less than a day on it. So
this is what hang on, do I have the card? Yeah, I have the smudged card that I messed up. That's what my cards look like. I kept that one. There were two that I messed up, and I've kept both of them. But that's the signature in this pen that will be on my cards. I've decided to do the full ZombieCleo. These are just the first bunch of signed cards. This is correct. Okay, September. This is where I find I've done September wrong. Nope, it starts on a Friday. Hello, baby. Can I help you? Pearl signed them all in a day. I also signed mine in a day.
Yeah, mine were at my apartment for less than 12 hours. I got them. I started signing them immediately. I ran to the grocery store and bought like 8 more Sharpies because those were causing trouble. Then I had them in... So let's see, they arrived at like 11 a.m. my time. I had them dropped off at the UPS store before 6 o'clock.
I streamed, and then I went and I signed 400 cards using this marker, which, like, some of them are signed using Sharpies, but most of them are signed using this marker. So, yeah. Sounds like being a YouTuber can be overwhelming.
Being anything can be overwhelming.
Yeah, it depends on how you're approaching things. It's just a case of what we're discussing about me doing, like, extra content is because I don't know how long moving's going to take, you know?
Moving can always take longer than you expect in this business because if the internet isn't set up properly, even if it's technically turned on, but you can't stream or your uploads are too slow or like get weird disconnect issues from the server, you can get set back weeks. So, yeah, it's kind of scary every time you have to move.
This pen is running out because it signed 400 cards.
Ooh.
There was another pen that didn't work so well on the cards. Hang on, I'll see if that one's about, because that might work better on paper. And I like the finish better on this pen. But, ooh, this one. I have another one somewhere, but this one, like, the colour on this one I think is better. But, when it was on the card, the edges sort of smeared. That they sort of like it came away. So I didn't use this one on the cards. Hang on, I've got to shake it. Shake. 2 pens and smudges. We've got the rares and the ultra rares there. There should be no like defects. Like the Sharpie only went on 4 cards.
Mm-hmm.
So, despite the fact that I bought 8 Sharpies that did not work.
Yep.
So then I had to test on my other cards. I mean, the other card, I don't know where I put it, is just has my signature all over it. So let's see this one. Nope. There we go. See, I prefer that one. Hang on, let's see. Let's go over this. It's got a nice, it's got much more of a mirrored thing on it, but it definitely, yeah, it's fine. So the Sharpie ones, if you get a Sharpie one, those are the rare ones. None of the rare cards got Sharpie on them.
I was talking to Beef about this during, well, not during the recording of our game, but after we cut off the recording. He was saying that there's actually going to be fewer common cards signed in some cases than there are rare cards, because we haven't signed any of our commons to get shuffled in.
That's true.
And so if people come up to us at conventions and stuff to get the commons signed, then that'll be like, ooh, wow, that's really rare.
I mean, technically, I suppose that's true.
Yeah, so don't stress out if you're like, oh no, I didn't get any rare Joe cards to get signed. Show up with a rare common, you're really going to be ballin'. That's short for basketballin'. That's like a...
Oh.
That's like... Yeah, because like, you know, you get 3 points if you throw it from far enough away.
Does your pen bleed through the paper? No, this is like... What was it, 160 GSM? Shouldn't do. And that's paint anyway, rather than pen.
Okay. Hey, we got another tip rolling in. Let's see who that's from. It's from Shifty Pumpkin, who says fundamental funding fund. Woo! And tips 50. That's going to bring us up to 81 degrees angular for the Beetlejuice. I'm not using the voice too aggressively because Cleo gets a little irritated. And you know what? Cleo had
you can use the voice. I'm not gonna get stressy about it.
Cleo had a long week in Scotland, so I don't feel like I need to.
I did. There was a lot going on.
But yeah, so thank you, Shifty Pumpkin. Dang it, I realized I switched chairs and I was out of frame. But yeah, anyway.
And thank you, Shifty, for the £50 tip. I do appreciate the new house moving fund. Yay! I honestly, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to move up there when it happens. So
yeah, I was
like,
gonna say
I don't.
It's a shame that like I hate like when people I know are moving and I can't help. But like there's no way it's practical for you to like fly me out to England to help you move boxes. But like I don't mind moving boxes. Like I hate when people need help and I can't help them. Like I would rather be there moving boxes getting tired than being like, oh, my friend's moving and there's nothing I can do.
No, I think what's going to happen is I'm probably just going to hire movers, like because long distance moving is an entirely different task.
Yeah.
Than like regular moving.
Yeah, like a cross town type thing.
So
yeah.
So my plan, I think, is get professionals, which is like. I'm like, you know, when you're looking at your rebate and the money is like, well, I've got to assign it for that and that and that and that and that. Oh god.
yeah. No, that's like yeah.
Is the new bed frame going to be the first thing in the house? No. I'm gonna sleep on the floor for a while longer. What's gonna happen? Like, this is how I see it going. I think that I've already tagged my friend Abby. Abby is I'm going to go up, take Abby. Abby might have already moved towards Scotland in this moment in time. Take the cats, drop them at my house, and Abby is going to babysit my cats. They've already agreed to this. This is not new, and I will pay them for that. And then I will go back home, get all the house blocked down altogether with the movers, and so I might actually end up flying down to my hometown and then flying back up after the movers have all gone. Abby is also moving. They're looking at it. I don't know if they're gonna be moved, but they should be moving closer to where I'm going to be. Mm-hmm. So, because I'm thinking about it, I do not want to drive. Like, if I've got to drive the cats anyway, I do not want to drive back down.
You're gonna have to move the car at least once, unless you put it on a truck or tow it, and that's a pain.
So my plan is move cats and Abby. I go home by plane. My family here will help me sort out the house. Long distance movers take everything. Oh no, that means I'd have to move my computer setup as well at the same time.
I would move the computer with the cats. I personally would always move my computer in my car. I would not put it in the truck.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. I don't want like the movers to move it.
No, anything like that. Like, if it's gonna get broken, I want it to be my fault. I can make peace with the fact that I'm not perfect, but I feel like if I'm paying somebody to move something and they break it, I'm gonna be annoyed. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, absolutely.
So I'll, I would rather.
My cats are very anxious as well. They are incredibly anxious cats. I'm not taking them on a plane. I want them to be where I can monitor them. And I want them to be in the house before, like in their own little room where they're used to when they're comfortable, and then they can hide before lots of people come in the house to move things. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. I work with fish. The fish don't care where I move, just so long as I clean the tank and keep them fed. Once they're fed, I'm good. Honestly, I think my cats will be much happier in the new house. Mm-hmm. Because they've got like little jutty out windows where they can just sit and stare at the world. So they've got like a pre-approved cat area.
Yeah, I guess to some degree though, is there like a standard process for acclimating cats who are like indoor outdoor cats to being in a new home so they don't get lost, like finding their way back to you?
I mean, the general rule is you keep them inside for about 6 months.
Okay.
My cats they like being outside, but when I have to keep them in, they're all right, ish with it. So, they're not going to throw a hissy fit, and honestly, they're timid cats, so they're more likely to hide away for a good long time anyway. So, there's a spray called Rescued Remedy my cat loves and keeps them less stressed. Yeah, I'm going to get a Feel Away sort of diffuser in their room so they're less stressed. Yeah. Woily Woo said the exact same thing, which is all about cat pheromones. So, yeah, I'm very like, the cats are the priority, which is why I would move them first.
Yeah, and then do they know Abby like well enough to feel comfortable like with you being gone for like a week or whatever?
They're not comfortable with anyone but me.
Okay.
But they do know, they have met Abby, and they have actually, like, Abby is the only person I think that's actually seen both of them.
Okay.
Because Atlas will come and they will look at a new person. Abby has managed to stroke Atlas a few times and even given belly rubs, so Atlas will be fine. GLaDOS has stared at Abby suspiciously from across the room, which is more than anyone else has. So, as the person to trust.
Yeah.
Yeah. Priorities, cats, computer, everything. Genuinely, that's my priority list. I don't like everything else. If it gets broken, I'm not going to care that much. That's I like, honestly, the cats are the only thing that I like. I can replace my computer if I have to. It will be a pain and it will be fast. I also have a laptop. So I'm also hoping to go down before I move Abby and the cats.
Abby and the cats.
So I can, like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We'll wait for that really long sound effect to stop. Grizz Druid tipped 118.09. I'm assuming that's conversion for cat moving fees. I do appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much. And Newt has resubscribed for 8 months. It is a good name, Newt. And yeah, thank you. I do appreciate that. It's like, I want to get, like, the house where I want it before, like, taking the cats. So so GLaDOS has my cat's temperament. During our move, we had good results with Nature's Miracle Calming Spray. She's also very allergic to a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's the last thing you want to do is have the cat have an allergic reaction in an unfamiliar environment when you're out of town.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
so.
That's like
I know she can.
problems.
I know she can deal with Feeliway, because that's all pheromone based. I don't really want to spray anything. I could drug them.
Yeah.
I could ask the vets to drug them, and the vets would probably go, "Yeah, all right then." And I don't know. It's a stressful time, and I'm worried about my babies. So
Stressful time for ZombieCleo, worrying about the babies and moving the microphone stand.
sorry.
It's understandable. If I was that worried about the babies, I would move the microphone too.
Yeah, I know, Joe. I know. I actually just knocked it with a box, but it's fine.
Knocked it with the box. Sorry, I'm just having fun.
I know you're having fun.
I'm
Joe.
having a lot of
I'm
fun.
aware. Yeah. Hearing about my move and how stressful it is a lot of fun for Joe.
Yeah, well, like I said, I literally just had my landlord call to renew. So I was supposed to get the lease renewed back in May, but like the representative from the landlord company or whatever never got back to me. I was like, hey, when do I get my new lease? I want to sign it real quick and turn it around because my kid's going to school in the same place. And I was hoping if I, like, when they didn't contact me, if I pushed them like, hey, just send this over, they would, like, send it over without increasing the rent.
And they did not.
Instead, they waited 4 months. So they've just been billing me month to month since then, without a month to month fee, luckily. Otherwise, I would have caused a problem. But, like, I'm like, okay, if I'm just under the radar, fine. And they're like, okay, so we're gonna send you another 12-month lease. And I'm like, no, I need my lease to end in May, or, like, you know, June 1st or whatever, because that's when my kid gets out of school. And we're, you know, she's gonna be finishing this elementary school. We're gonna probably want to move. And even if we don't want to move, like, or, you know, it needs to be synchronized with her school schedule for the year after, like, you know. And they're like, well, we don't like giving 9 months leases. I'm like, well, I don't like when I ask you to send me a lease renewal and you wait 4 months. Like, so, I mean, this is kind of on you. Like,
yeah.
Give me a June 1st lease, you know. Like, it's one of those things, like, I don't really want to move right at the beginning of the school year, but we've got this broken HVAC. It's not technically fully broken. It's just like really inefficient and not working great, you know. It's like, you know, you're going to have to replace the HVAC. You're going to have to fix all the other things that I've been complaining about with the door hinges being upside down and falling off and all this other stuff. You're like, by the time you rent this place, it's going to be a few months. You're going to lose a ton of money. Like, just come on. Don't be a jerk about this. Like, and he's like, well, the guy whose job it was to get back with you had some issues. And it's like, yeah, well, I'm not talking to him. I'm talking to you.
Hey,
it's your job to...
problem that is?
It's your
Not
job to
mine.
fix his problems. It's not my job to fix his mistakes. They asked you to fix what he screwed up. Fix it. Like, that sort of thing. So, yeah.
Oh, I do not want to take my cats on an airplane because they might have to go in the hold, and I do not want that for anxious cats. And also for anyone else.
Yeah. Tiny Dragon says management companies can be such a pain to deal with. Yeah, it's not great. Like, so, I don't know. But like, okay, so but they sent over the new lease with the only a $50 a month increase set with the proper date. So it's like, I was kind of just hoping I could keep coasting with the same rate I had before until May, and then just be like, hey, there's just so you guys know I'm moving out. And they'd be like, the lease says you're supposed to give us warning. No, you never sent me a new one. You just been billing me month to month. Bye. Like, but yeah, unfortunately, such an error can only go undiscovered for 4 months, not 12.
Yes.
So
I'm going to enjoy telling my landlord where to shove everything.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Oh boy.
Oh, Grizz Druid also cheered 496 bits saying, "I'll take the rest of these bits that I've forgotten I had. Thank you so much."
Woo!
I really do appreciate it. That does mean a lot, and it is going to make a big difference to the Kitty Cat Fund.
Kitty Cat Fund.
Anathra has resubscribed for 12 months for a whole year with a boop. Thank you. And Moonglaive has resubscribed for 17 months. Hello. How's the bamboo growing in the current garden? Really well. Yeah, I did plant spike bamboo. That is the thing that I definitely did.
What's the difference between bamboo and spike bamboo? Just intent?
A bit of intent, but also one of the ones that grows really quickly.
Okay.
And it's quite invasive. But to be fair, I did get rid of the ivy problem. Like, I destroyed the ivy in this house that was taking over not only my place, but also the neighbor's place. I killed that for them.
Yeah, so you deserve some credit there.
I do deserve some credit. Paleo Cheered Biddies, thank you. And Nursing Geek has resubscribed for 9 months. Twitch baby, thank you. And Leslie gifted a sub to Gris. We appreciate you, Gris. I'm just going to assume that those two pieces without faces are looking the other way. Yes, that is true. That is what those are. So they don't have ivy guilt. That's nice of you. Like, honestly, the ivy was there when I moved in. And ivy, for those of you who don't know, ivy is wickedly invasive in the UK.
Oh, yeah?
And can destroy brickwork.
Oh, don't they usually, like, use that for houses?
Yeah, they shouldn't.
So you don't want that destroyed. Yeah.
No. So it was there, and it was going into neighbours' gardens and onto their houses as well. And I killed that, and it took 4 years.
Wow.
But it's gone now, and so I don't feel guilty
Cleo.
about planting bamboo.
ZombieCleo, the slow killer.
Honestly, if you've ever tried to get rid of not bamboo, if you've ever tried to get rid of ivy, you will understand how much of an invasive thing that is. You're also waging war against carving plant. There is another climbing plant, which I think is some form of jasmine that is really invasive, but it's not going to get bad until next year. So I'm going to let it go this year because I won't be here next year.
Yeah, they can. The next tenant can deal with that.
Yep. I did spend like 3 years trying to get rid of that one as well, and that one's still here. So it's not like I haven't tried. Fighting the good fight with wild invasive blackberries. Plant battles are like, I like plants. Like it's like, you know, like as a general rule, I like being in the garden. I like doing things in the garden. I like growing things. Some plants make me want to stab all plants with Roundup. Lord Cutty is cheered biddies. 4 years is pretty fast in my opinion. Good job. I found the main route. It was behind the old shed which I had to replace because it was falling down. That's why it took 4 years, because I didn't know where it was coming from. Who plants ivy behind a shed? I'm fine. This is normal. This is a normal amount of aggravation for this situation.
Well, I am getting a lot done this stream. It might not seem like it, but I've actually created... my Discord requested some new emotes, or emoji. And so I've created 4 different ones to express different things.
Cool.
One of the problems that we ran into was people were like, we don't have enough ways to express nuanced agreement. We already have this TBH and mood and the 100 and the thumbs up, but we need something that says, like, this is a good point or this is valid. So I made a new valid emote or emoji. We have 2 dancing people ones for when I play songs during the show. And then we also have Joe No, which is something they like to yell, but I don't understand why. Because clearly I need to be enabled, not yelled at. But obviously there's a reason
Sure,
I'm the only
Joe.
one who's not allowed to go all out with pranks. So, I mean, you know, it's fine. I get it. Other people see a need to hold me back. It's fine. It's fine. So, anybody in the Discord, I'm about to post those each for the first time so you can see.
My patrons are getting a Blood in the Clock Tower game at some point, probably next. Might do it tomorrow, actually. Who's here from my server that wants to play Blood in the Clock Tower tomorrow? Blood in the Clock Tower Arena. We're playing Blood in the Clock Tower. Blood on the Clock Tower, rather. If you want to diverse from Spike Bamboo, you can always include some Spike Mint. I'm not that cruel. Yes, but there's no clock. It doesn't have to be a clock tower. I went on earlier and I checked out what was going on, and they've made like a house and they've made a gallows because of course they did. I specifically didn't add a gallows in Hermitcraft because that was a bit too on the nose.
Yeah, that creates its own separate social commentary problems too.
And they've prettified the arena, so. Yeah,
I was gonna say maybe instead of the gallows, you could have something a little bit more Hermitcrafty, like a TNT head generation booth or something.
Oh, no, what I've actually done is, because I don't actually have to kill anyone, I've just done, what do you call it, lawyers' benches, where you can do accusations and defense.
Barristers' benches.
Yeah, like that. So I've done those. So that's much more a hermity thing to do. You're still designing the item randomizer redstone. Randomizer outside the server. I mean, I could absolutely, like, do it on the Blood on the Clock Tower app. I'm quite happy to run it that way. It's not a huge thing to do. Only thing we think is the notator room. Pseudo, you're going to have to clarify, because I think you may have done a misspelling and my brain can't pass what that is. Pushed is sorting out randomizer stuff for me. Apparently. Narrator room? Oh yeah, but I just need a box and saying, you're this, you're this, you're this.
So my Discord is now arguing about whether my emote says Joe no with an exclamation point or Joel no with a period. So I don't know. You can take that up with Mythical Sausage if you have a problem. Like, it's fine.
Why would you take that up with Sausage?
Isn't his name Joel?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's Smallish Beans.
One of these days I'll learn the difference. I don't really interact with either of them often.
You'll learn the difference.
Like,
okay, one of them is English and the other one I think is Cuban?
Yeah, but like the thing is though, if people are like, Joe, do you know the difference between these two actors? And they're in things that I don't really watch, I would say like if they're like for example, like Pedro Pascal. Like I saw a show he was in, but he wore a helmet like almost the whole time. So if they were like, Joe, would you recognize the difference between Pedro Pascal and then some British actor whose name I don't know? I'd probably say, probably not. Like, I mean, if I heard him talk, I might be able to tell by the voices or something. But, like, they're not talking. Like, Joel and Smallish Beans are not talking to me right now. Is Joel... Okay. No, Joel is Smallish Beans. That's the other thing, is I can't remember these people's screen names and real names. Like, I don't know... So, I don't know the difference... Or I don't know the people's names, and I don't know their faces, because I've never met them. So, like, there's... Yeah. I don't know.
That's, I mean, it's fair. I just, like, I
know the Milky Bar kid. I know he's not Joel.
We're not talking about the Milky Bar kid.
No.
Because the Milky Bars are on him.
Yep. The Milky Bars are on me.
Speaking of the Milky Bar kid, I did go and watch Barbie movie whilst I was up in Scotland. I've never met the streamer I'm watching. Chloe, wasn't it?
I'm generally trying to avoid. I don't know if you heard, but Hollywood has been trying to pay YouTubers to promote films and streamers because actors are not allowed to during the strike. And the Actors Guild have requested that YouTubers and streamers not promote struck work. Now, you are not, like, in any position to join the U.S. Actors Guild or whatever, but, like, in theory, there are certain types of work that I might do. Like, if that thing that we had pitched a few years had gone through, like that one series.
Yeah.
So basically they've said, hey, if you're an American YouTuber who has any possibility of wanting to work with Hollywood in the future, please don't promote
considered that. I had forgotten they were on strike.
No, it's fine. It's not your country, and like
it's not my country, but I still am a consumer. So
yeah, and there's no
I will try and avoid.
There's been no request for a boycott from the broader public, but it's just like one of those things like, hey, don't let these executives trick you into scabbing for us on the promotional side of things.
Yeah, not going to. It's fine.
So Corellis says the Milky Bar Kid has been upgraded to Brian Adams on Twitter. I saw that. I think
did
it would
not...
be funnier if I knew who
What?
Brian Adams was. I
Brian
think...
Adams is the Prince of Thieves music guy?
What's Prince of Thieves? Is that a band or a
Robin
album?
Hood, Prince of Thieves. Everything I Do It For You. The one that was at the top of the charts for weeks, I believe.
See, this is why I'm saying I don't know. Yeah, like, I can't be expected to know the difference between these famous people because I don't even know half the stuff they work on. Like, okay.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm just guessing. I might be. I
was
wrong,
was
and it might be
vaguely
different
aware that
Brian
Brian Adams was a musician, and the picture has him looking like a musician. And Corrales sent it to Jimmy and was like, "Is this you, Brian Adams?" I'm like, "Okay."
To be fair,
Oh, he
Jimmy
did the Summer of
is...
'69. I know the Summer of '69. Yeah, I've heard that song. That one I know. Okay. I knew the name sounded familiar for some reason. Yeah. So I'm assuming he's American then, because I don't think that the British have a 5 and
Oh
dime
no, he's
shop.
American.
Yeah. Got my
Of course, he's American. He was on a. He did stuff for Robin Hood.
The 5 and dime. I thought Robin Hood was famously British.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is, all the people that play Robin Hood are also famously American.
Oh, okay. Oh, people are saying he's Canadian. I guess Canadians have dimes. Do they?
Mm-hmm.
McLesley says that Jimmy also looks like 1993 Kevin Costner. Okay.
Isn't that Waterworld Kevin Costner?
Yeah. It's been a while since I saw that one, but okay.
I never liked it, so it felt too real. Canada is America. I mean, technically, it is.
Is there a film called Kevin Costner circa 1993? Is that like a time travel movie? I don't. Okay.
The BBC Robin Hood was a British guy, though. I don't believe you. That feels like a lie. This is cute, by the way. I like that I did this. This is cute. That's not bad either. Although I should probably put like stuff down this side to make it like the size. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. But subtly, crosses and crosses.
Dun, 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 dun. Do, 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 do. Bum, 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 bum.
Robin Hood had Kevin Costner in the lead, and it came out in 1993. Yeah, I knew that. I was talking about the music, really. There's no such thing as America. Land back. You know what, Blaze? That's fair. Also, I think that the point that was being made was the continent of, rather than Canada is legitimately part of America.
So I'm looking at this list of emotes that my Discord requested that I agreed to do. And
are you saying that you probably shouldn't have agreed to do it?
No,
because that's what that feels like.
I'm just figuring out which ones what to work on next, right? That seems reasonable.
I mean, that seems fair.
So one of them they want is Joe with hearts.
In what way, Joe with hearts?
Like a picture of me with a bunch of hearts in the background. But when you scale this down to emoji size, it's not gonna read well.
You just need picture of your glasses with hearts around it.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking maybe I'll just do Joe with a heart for the O, maybe?
That could work.
That could work. Because like it just has to generally express like what the suggestion was. It
Joe's
doesn't.
bare essentials. Hey Kish, it's been a while since you caught a stream because it's been a while since done them. Because Kish, I got a house. Got a house.
House.
I say I'm in the process of buying a house, allegedly.
Okay. So let me see if I can find a good picture of a heart.
Got a house. There we go. Oh no, that doesn't work. I need to pull it over a bit. Curse you, tape. I have put an offer in on a house. It has been accepted. Now we've got to do all the legal stuff.
Legal stuff.
The rigmarole of legalities. That's where we're at.
Kishul says, I feel like whenever I get your stream notification, it's like 3 a.m. my time, and I despair.
I mean, you are quite off. Like, honestly, the art streams are the ones that you can pretty much only get to, really.
Are these
We're
the
being
earliest
realistic
streams you
about it.
do?
Yeah, it is.
Gotcha. Yeah, I stream this time 5 days a week, and I frequently regret it because I'm like, I should take a nap right now. But the problem is, if I take a nap at this time, it's like right after I drop my kid off at school, then the next night I won't want to go to bed. I'll be like, I'll just take a nap tomorrow. And then, like, it kills my sleep schedule. I have to be working right now, or I will just never go to bed at night.
Okay, so something that's started to work for me,
Mm-hmm.
which I tried last night for the first time, and it worked really well
Mm-hmm.
for, like, getting to sleep, because I struggle getting to sleep. There's a podcast called Nothing Much Happens.
Uh-huh.
And it's basically, like, stories where not a lot happens, told in a soothing voice. By like a yoga teacher and calming instructor.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been getting to sleep within, like, I had to, like, she does the story twice, so like the second time you don't have to really listen to it.
Yeah.
And I was asleep halfway in, like, it's a 20-minute to 30-minute podcast. I was asleep by halfway through the second story, and then I woke up in the middle of the night, and then I put it on again, and then I went to sleep within about 5 minutes.
Nice.
So nothing much happens. If you want something that's worked for me and you struggle getting to sleep, podcast Nothing Much Happens. I tried it for the first time last night. It worked. And I wasn't even, well, I was tired. Mm-hmm. The second time I woke up.
I've been putting books on tape on, like, end of chapter mode when I'm, like, 6 minutes or so from the end of the chapter, and just, like, lying there with my eyes closed, visualizing the action, and then, like, trying to, like, force myself to not continue listening. I ran into this problem, though, with Brandon Sanderson's Tress of the Emerald Sea, that I would just lie there for 5 hours continuously going, well, let me just put on the next chapter. That was too good a book. But I'm going through Isaac Asimov's Foundation series right now, and I wrote a whole rant on Tumblr about this, Cleo, so I won't go into it too much. But do you know the basics of the Foundation setting?
Nope.
Okay. So the idea is that this guy comes up with this idea that humanity works like gas molecules, where you can't predict one particular gas molecule's motion, but in a large enough system, you can reasonably statistically predict outcomes, like turbulence and things like that, right? And the books take place after the galaxy has been settled for like 20,000 years, and there's like quadrillions of people everywhere. And so basically he comes up with this idea that he can predict certain human sociological forces over time. And he realizes that the galactic empire is about to collapse, and the galaxy is about to be plunged into like 30,000 years of war and decay and despair. And so he realizes that it's too late at this point to stop the galactic empire from collapsing. the best thing he can do is to create the circumstances for that dark age to only be 1,000 years long, and then give birth to a new peaceful empire. And so the books span like hundreds of years during this 1,000-year period or whatever, right? And in the first 5 books, this guy is set up to be this like legendary genius who, like, you know, like the people who are dealing with trying to carry out his plan over the next, during that 1,000 years, he's already dead, and he's just this legendary genius figure. And he's like considered like the greatest mathematician of all time, and like basically the only hope for humanity, or blah blah blah, right? And meanwhile, book 6 is a prequel that goes back to when he presents his first paper on this. And have you ever seen the Bill Murray film The Man Who Knew Too Little?
No.
Okay, so basically book 6 is a prequel where this famous mathematician is now just a new PhD, or he's got his doctorate or whatever. He presents this paper, and all of a sudden, all of these different governments and whatever are trying to kidnap him because they want him to predict the future for them. And all these different factions or whatever. And he's a complete fool who doesn't know anything about anything except for math. He doesn't know how to like work an oven. He can't figure out how to read the clocks in the like place he's staying. Like, he's just completely bungling his way through things. And everybody's just like, well, this guy's such a brilliant mathematician. He must be a genius at everything. He's constantly outwitting us. But he's not outwitting them. He's just bungling around chapter after chapter, making a mess while like everybody trips over themselves trying to get him. And he's just a complete fool. And like apparently the author was like, yeah, some of my readers were getting like way too into the idea of this like concept. And so, yeah, I decided to just make a book about how dumb a person would have to be who came up with this. Like, it's like for somebody to, so it's like, yeah, it's so I'm just like, this is a bit of a tone shift. Like this guy is just so focused on, it's like, I don't think I've ever actually seen a Mr. Bean thing, but like it reminds me of like when people have clipped Mr. Bean on GIFs or whatever. Like where he's just trying to go about his business and do work on his mathematical research, and then just stupid stuff is continuously like slapstickishly happening around him. Or Mr. Magoo would be another example. Like, yeah. Yeah, I'm talking about book 6 of Foundation, which is very different than the first 5 books. But yeah, it's just like, wow, the author really made a choice here.
The choice was very distinct.
Yeah, there's... Oof. I have not read a series that pivoted this hard. And so, like, I'm honestly kind of impressed. Like, I came into it and I'm like, what is this?
He just went, no, you guys are wrong. This is how wrong you are.
Yeah, he was, yeah. Wow. I was like, is this just him screwing with his editor? Like, the company was like, you have to write a 6th book or we won't give you a stupid amount of money. But yeah, it's like, woof. This is really something. But yeah, so I've been listening to that, and that's something that's kind of hard to listen to for extended periods because the guy is so buffoonish. Like, it stresses me out the same way. Like, if you've ever watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I haven't.
Okay. Well, if you've ever watched, like, a show where the characters are, like, infuriatingly, like, incompetent and constantly getting into trouble, like, the townspeople in Doc Martin, maybe?
Again.
Yeah, no?
No.
Okay, well, that's what, at least British, but, I mean, it's Cornish. I don't know if you'd count that, but.
I don't know. Thank you, Canon Russia, for the 25 months resub, saying, can't watch the stream, just wanted to say thank you, you're awesome. Yay! It's like watching a kid's show with that kind of plot. That's how it sounds, yes.
No, it's the weirdest thing.
It's a tone shift, is what it is.
It's a massive tone shift. And, like, the thing is, though, he recognizes the tone shift because he starts each chapter with, like, a excerpt from the Encyclopedia Galactica, which is supposedly written... So, like throughout all of his books, each will have chapters that open with excerpts from the encyclopedia from the new empire. So you know from the beginning that they ultimately succeed at creating this new era of peace and prosperity, but it's just like, how are they going to get there? Right?
Yeah.
And so, like, you know, all of the introductions to the chapters are these excerpts of talking about like what stupid thing this guy's about to do next. Although it's all like very like, you know, it's 12,000 years later or whatever, or 1,200 years later that this encyclopedia article is written, and it's just like, not much is known about the rulers of this enclave. However, one of them did meet with Harry Seldon in an incident that he described as crucial to his formulation of the psychohistory formula. And then it's like that guy like shows up in a truck and like yells at him for being stupid and then drives off. And it's just like but like it's all written like, oh, these are these very impactful, important events, blah blah blah. But then it's just him bungling around Trantor, which is the name of the planet. Like, but yeah, but like, yeah, so he knew what he was doing with the tone shift. There's no question, like, you know, he didn't know what he's doing.
Jesus.
Yeah. It's just like, when we talk about being bold artistically, I'm like, this is in the ballpark. There's some choices being made here, and I might get incredibly stressed out by them, but like, I appreciate the effort.
Yeah. That's a lot to deal with. How do you manage to cut the washi tape but not the paper underneath when you've already stuck on the tape? Be gentle? Washi tape isn't that thick. Paper's very thick.
Yeah, if you just like rest if you have a sharp X-Acto blade and you rest it on like masking tape or something, and then just draw it across, it'll score the tape without the paper underneath. So even if you don't cut all the way through the tape, you'll have scored it enough that you can naturally kind of lift and tear it along that seam.
You say knife is very sharp. This knife isn't particularly sharp anymore. This blade's been on there for about 6 months.
I'm just recommending people use sharp knives in general.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I actually kind of think I nailed this anatomically correct heart in the middle of the word Joe on first try. And I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Fair.
Because, like, part of me also wants to ornament it with, like, so this is supposed to be Joe with hearts. I kind of want to put little extra hearts, like, that are not anatomically correct around it, just for accents. So, let's do that.
Sure, why not?
Why not? Yay. Because we got, it's a big space. And Kindle has asked, is this are these beta versions of these? No. I said I would design these myself. And here we go. We're doing it live. Like, if you want really well done artistic emotes, go to, like, one of the fan servers where the artists who make the fan art hang out. Like, if you want something that's authentically me, yeah, welcome. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not, I mean, I can draw. I just don't practice it, so I've never really developed beyond what I can sort of innately do, so... It's just not where my skills and interests lie. I love seeing fan art, though. Fan art is, like, the biggest flattery thing I think that there is. It's really amazing.
Okay, we're just gonna move this over into the sunlight here because there's not enough light for me to get this.
Monica has resubscribed for 24 months. So it's 2 years, yay!
Woo!
2 whole years.
2 fantastic years.
It has been fantastic. Honestly, quitting my job.
Yeah.
You're the best artist because you said so, Blaze.
So we're gonna turn the lights back down now.
Sure, Blaze, if you say so. I don't think I've seen much of your art. Actually, no, I have. I've seen all the stuff you do for Cam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are artisanal, handcrafted emotes.
It's been 2 years since I started streaming. It's been more than 2 years since I started streaming, Kish. Dun dun dun. I have to say I'm the best artist for jobs, I think. That's fair. Kish is the person who I go to if I say, I need art! And then there's Kish. And it's gotten to the point where Kish has done my stuff and the other people go to Kish for art about me. I Kish doing my what do you call it, my TCG card, my signed one.
Yeah.
It was like Kish I'd already asked to do the references for my VTuber model. And then I said to Creo, I said, you know what? Just pick who you like. And then Kish comes to me and goes, so. And I'm like, what? Like, I've been chosen to do your card. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yay! I'm glad that you got somebody good.
It was just sort of like, it was something good. It was especially because the form had a who you'd like to do and who you'd work with, and I put you for both. You see, there you go. It was like, well, actually, I said, I've already spoken to Kish about this when Luke contacted me, and it was like, oh yeah, I saw that they'd done some really nice art, nice fan art of you beforehand, and I'm like, you know, they're the person that I like to do my art stuff. So, they specifically chose you because of like the fan art that you'd done, Kish. Was at least what I was told. So, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But it was a nice surprise. I wonder which one as well, because you've done a few.
Yeah, I just finished the playfield of my pinball machine, like, at least in terms of the layout. I haven't built out the parts yet, but, like, I know where all the parts will go. And that is one thing I regret, was that I didn't have those ready for I didn't have the playfield layout ready for Aviva. Like, it basically just has a huge glare on it from the sun overhead, so you can't see the playfield. But it would have been so cool to have that in there on the card.
It would have been. Hindsight.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the next cards we do. I don't think we're gonna be doing anything. It doesn't sound like It doesn't sound like we're doing anything else before the end of the year because there's too much going on with getting the current stuff shipped. But I'm happy that we're focusing on getting stuff out to people. You know.
Yeah.
Like, that's the right way to do it. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so I need to go back to my list here. What else do we
Red
have?
Steel Eagle has resubscribed for 29 months. Thank you.
Oh, the only one left is Dahlia's Green Wig commission, or not commission, license. So yeah, we can do that one, and then we're done. At least I'm done with my my.
I
backlog.
can stop whenever you need me to, Joe.
Well, I still have one more I'm working on, but
Yeah.
I'm getting through my backlog here because some of these I had planned to work on like last quarter, and we got all the way through this quarter's new business meeting, and it's like, where is it?
I want to go at some point and finish working on Blood on the Clock Tower for my patrons.
Do you need a hand with that, or?
What do you mean? Do you need a hand with that? For
Like,
the stuff on my Patreon server.
oh,
If you
I
want to
mean,
play, Joe, you're welcome to come and play.
in general, like, I mean, if you need help with stuff, because I know you just had a big week, you know, like, it doesn't have to be on Hermitcraft if you need help.
Nah, I'm all right, Joe. Like that one shouldn't take too much,
Okay.
because I expect them to know stuff. So, um, I always love to see when a fan artist gets to work with someone in a more official capacity, like Cherry Fire doing all of Martin's thumbnails. Yes, I like that. If I had the budget for that, I would definitely do that, but I don't. So you get what you get, I'm afraid. When I'm rich and famous, I'll do that. The key word there being rich. I don't have to be that famous so long as I'm rich.
Yep. Okay, so let's see. So I need to open
I always like the idea of like having, like, if I ever got like money and stuff, having like artists that I just go make something cool, and then they make something cool, and I go, hey, it's cool.
Yeah,
That's
no.
what I want. I'd like to be like a patron of the arts, like a proper patron.
I would do that.
But
well, like, the thing is, like, too, like, House Industries has, like, an oil painter on staff. They're a font foundry. You don't necessarily need an oil painter on staff at a font foundry, but it doesn't hurt if you really like making cool oil paintings of stuff. And so, like, all of their promotional materials, when they, like, announce a new font, they'll, like, mail designers these books full of, like, hand-painted stuff. Or not, I mean, they're prints, but, like, you know,
yeah,
but, like, it's like, hey, we've got this Las Vegas themed font, and so, like, the painter would, like, paint, like, a scene of Las Vegas, like, demoing the font in action, and, like, with, like, the guys who make the fonts as, like, the Rat Pack. You know, they have a bunch of, basically, you know, people who make fonts don't get a lot of fan art, unlike the Hermits, so they have an in-house oil painter who will, like, paint them in suits, hanging out in front of signs with their fonts on them. And it's, like, just one of the best recurring things. Like, it's just one of the best jokes in graphic design. Like, their commitment to the bit on this, for like 2 decades now. They've just had this oil painter on staff for 2 decades making their promotional stuff. So when they run an ad in a magazine, it's a painting, because, well, we got the guy. Like, you know.
Yeah, of course you would. Like, honestly, just having being able to support an artist.
Yeah.
You know, that's just a sort of like, this is my personal artist. What did you make today? It's like the Leonardo da Vinci stuff. It's just sort of like, did you paint that picture of me and my wife? No, but I made you a helicopter.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. As a concept, it's just sort of like, is it cool? Yes. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
I would love to have like artist helicopter money.
Artist helicopter money. Okay, so image, canvas size, 720, okay.
Takes notes. Make a Cleo helicopter. No, the whole point about being a patron is like, you pay them money, and occasionally you get cool stuff for you when the inspiration takes them, but you'll always get cool stuff.
Yeah.
Because what can artists do if they no longer have to pay for food? And like you know, no longer have to just survive. They don't have to do a menial job so they can do their artwork. If they could do their art full time, they would make such cool stuff. So being able to fund someone's lifestyle enough that they get to produce cool stuff is the dream.
Oh, yeah. I wish I could afford a house band. Like, just have a live band every stream. Like, on The Tonight Show or whatever.
Yeah.
I'd be
basic
really...
universal income. Yeah, no, basic universal income would be amazing. Particularly for that reason.
Recommended dimensions for the emoji are 128 by 128. Okay.
Getting hot in here. Okay, we're nearly in. Are we nearly in September, aren't we? Pooh. Hmm. Emote making is so hard.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
loving
no.
it. I'm just doing I'm living my truth, as the kids say.
Yep, nearly September. Kids here started school to say, oh, I am glad I don't work in a school anymore, because at this point I would be getting very depressed, because I would have to start going into school. I'd have to start setting up my classroom.
Yep, school started here.
Yep.
Yep. I had to go.
How do you actually stick to bullet journaling? I always find I give up after a week or so.
It can't hurt
I'm
to
just
have a week
gesturing broadly to
Yeah.
the stream that I'm in. I have a set appointment, a set day where I do the thing, and sometimes I use it a lot, sometimes I use it a little, but since I have the ability to make something every week, I make the thing. Putting time aside, it's the key. Here my friends having to go back to school. Oh, like, oh right, yeah, that exists. No, it doesn't. That feels like a lie. School is too much. Get to be a TA for 30 labs next semester.
That'll keep you busy.
I'm guessing it will.
Okay.
It's the academic version of Hell Week in theatre right now. I'd very much like to never look at a syllabus or a lesson plan again. Oof. I don't miss school. I really don't.
I'm not surprised. Oof.
Honestly, guys, thank you. You are the reason why I don't work like my real job at the moment. Not that this isn't a real job, it's just a weird real job.
It's the reason you work in a different industry now.
Yeah, that one. I'm so hot. It's very, very toasty in here right now.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to get a headache.
Well, should we wrap up then? Because I just finished my final emoji.
Oh, perfect timing.
So, yeah.
Because I wasn't going to start anything else.
Yeah. Why don't we go ahead and break off into our own chats? But Cleo, it was great talking to you again after a week off last week. I'm so happy to hear about your house progress.
Yay! It's good to speak to you too, Joe. I'm glad to hear about the making a hat situation. I'll catch you later, Joe.
Catch you later.
Bye.
Bye. Alrighty, my stream. Final reminder that tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. If you're interested in joining the Patreon Discord, that is at $5 a month. You can get access to the Discord. $10 a month, you get access to the Minecraft servers. Okay. So, let's see. Anything else that we need to cover before we go? I think that... So let's see. We got 5 new emotes that I made. And then we got one that Dahlia made. And the Dahlia one looks like... can I drag it into OBS here? Let me... Since you couldn't really see the Dahlia one, let me see if I can pull that up for you. Documents... It's not really an emote. It's actually just a a marker drawing, but it's awesome. So yeah, there's that one. So thank you very much to Dahlia for that. Does anybody know in the chat, in the Discord chat, if Dahlia has like a portfolio site or anything that we could link, just as a thanks for that? because the Dahlia's Discord profile does not link anything. But yeah, I know, right? That's pretty great. Is there like a Tumblr? Let me just... Yeah, let me search Tumblr real quick. Probably wouldn't hurt if I spelled the name correctly. Hermitcraft Dahlia... Okay, this is an empty Tumblr. Based on the background art, I'm assuming this is the same person, but the fact that it's empty means I shouldn't link it. So, either way, thank you to Dahlia for that fun wig marker image. The name of that emote starts with Dahlia's name as a result. Most of Dahlia's work is just one-on-one. Okay, cool. That's something I need to get a better list of, is like people I recommend for commissions, and I need to put that on the website or something. But yeah. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Dun 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 dun. So, okay. I think, yeah, we got Valid, Dancing Left and Right, Joe No, and the other one was called Joe with Hearts. I was requested to make one that was called Joe with Hearts, and so I put a heart in the middle of the Joe. It's actually very anatomically correct. If you look very closely there, that's an anatomically correct heart in the as the O, and then little happy cartoon hearts around. So we tried a few different Joe Knows. We got a green one there. We got a teal dance. It should be fun. But okay. So let me also mention that if you go to my website at joehills.net/soon, you can find when my next stream is, which is a Quinn Hermitcraft stream tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m., followed by a Thursday night stream at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Central Time. We're going to have a morning coffee on the 25th as well, Friday, 8:30 p.m. on the 25th stream, too. Saturday and Sunday nights, both at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Central Time. So, can we rate... let's see. Can we rate Asuma's new video? Is it about Hermitcraft? Let me just pan around real quick. Is any part of this about, like, the stuff we were doing? If some of the perimeter stuff was in there, then I would definitely want to. But you know what? We're going to send people over there anyway, because we've already mentioned it. So, go check out Asuma's latest video. If you haven't, my latest video is also out a few days ago, but y'all have probably already seen it. Anyway, until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee.